Today, I'm making a fun and epic 3D mango dinosaur cake for my nephew's birthday. Come along as I show you step by step how to build it, from soft cake layers to a light mango whipped cream and fresh mango filling. I'll also be covering it with a rich mango condensed milk buttercream, along with a few simple tricks to help the fruit stay beautifully in place. So let's get started. Today, we're using a dinosaur-shaped cake pan. It comes with baking and decorating instructions, but I've already gone through everything you'll need, so you don't have to. I'll also list all the ingredients and tools in the description box below. It's very important to grease the pan thoroughly, especially the corners and detailed areas. You can use melted butter, oil, or non-stick spray. Just make sure to coat every surface generously. I'll also be making an extra base layer for this cake, so be sure to grease that pan as well. For the dinosaur layer cake, I'll be using 2 boxes of cake mix. Start by preparing the batter according to the package instructions. In a large mixing bowl, add 6 large eggs and beat them well. Add 1½ cups milk. And 1 cup oil. Mix well. Then add in the cake mix. You can use any flavor you like. Be careful not to overmix the batter. Overmixing develops too much gluten, which can make the cake dense, tough, and less soft. Mix just until everything is combined for a light, fluffy texture. This pan holds about 5 to 6 cups of batter. If you're only making the molded dinosaur cake, 1 standard box of cake mix usually yields about 4 cups of batter, so you'll need about 1½ boxes. I'll also show you how to modify a single box later. Tap the pan a few times to help the batter settle into all the details. For the base layer, I'll need a 13 by 12 inch pan, but I don't have that size. If you do, that's great. Otherwise, you can adjust like I'm doing here. Pour in the remaining batter and bake according to the box instructions, or until a skewer inserted in the center comes out clean. For the molded dinosaur cake only, you can use 1½ boxes, or modify 1 box like this. In a bowl, mix 4 eggs, 1/2 cup plus 2 tablespoons oil, 1¼ cups milk, and beat until well combined. In another bowl, combine 1 box of cake mix, 1/2 cup all-purpose flour, and 1 teaspoon baking soda. Give the dry ingredients a quick mix. Then gently combine the wet and dry ingredients. Don't overmix. Tap the pan a few times to help the batter settle into all the details. Then bake according to the box instructions. For a light and fresh filling, we'll make mango whipped cream. Add 3 cups of heavy whipping cream and a pinch of salt. Whip until slightly thickened. Then add 1/2 cup mango-flavored sweetened condensed milk. If you don't have it, regular sweetened condensed milk works just fine. Since the condensed milk is already sweet, there's no need to add extra sugar, unless you prefer it sweeter. Continue mixing until soft peaks form that hold their shape. Cover and refrigerate until ready to use. For the mango filling, you'll need about 4 cups of chopped mangoes, 1/2 cup sugar, adjust to taste, and 3 tablespoons cornstarch. Mix everything together with a pinch of salt. Cook over medium-low heat until the mixture thickens and turns glossy and slightly translucent. Gradually add about 1/3 cup water to adjust the consistency. Cook for about 5 to 7 minutes, or until soft and thickened. Transfer to a bowl. Let it cool completely, then cover and refrigerate. For the mango buttercream, we'll use 1 14-ounce can of mango sweetened condensed milk. You'll also need 6 sticks of softened butter, about 680 grams. Make sure the butter is at room temperature. You can use a whisk attachment or a paddle attachment for easier mixing. Beat the butter until light, fluffy, and pale in color, scraping the bowl as needed. I'm not adding extra salt because I'm using half salted and half unsalted butter. If you're using all unsalted butter, you can add about 1 teaspoon of salt. Gradually add the mango sweetened condensed milk. Mix on medium-high speed for the first couple of minutes, then increase to high speed. Continue mixing for about 15 to 20 minutes until the buttercream becomes smooth and fluffy with a medium consistency. Since the condensed milk is already sweet, there's no need to add extra sugar unless you prefer it sweeter. We'll thin it slightly later for frosting the sides and background. For now, cover and refrigerate. Sometimes your cake will have a slight dome on top. We'll need to trim that off so it lays flat. This side will be the back of the cake. For character-shaped cakes, let them cool in the pan for about 30 minutes. If you remove them too early, they can be too soft and may break. Now I'm arranging the cake layers and checking if anything needs trimming. It's already looking so cute. To prevent cracking or breaking, let the cakes cool completely about 2 hours before icing and decorating. I'll slice the base cake into 2 layers. For the dinosaur cake, I'm going to keep it as 1 piece since it's not thick enough to layer. Next, generously brush simple syrup over each layer. This helps keep the cake moist and soft. I've listed the simple syrup ingredients in the description box below. Divide the mango whipped cream into 3 portions and the mango filling into 2. Spread 1 portion of mango whipped cream over the bottom layer. Then evenly add 1 portion of the mango filling. Follow with the second portion of whipped cream. And place the top layer over it. Then, soak the top layer with more simple syrup. Now, I'll lightly mark where the dinosaur cake will sit. This helps guide where to spread the filling underneath. Spread the remaining mango filling within the marked area. Then evenly add the final portion of mango whipped cream. And place the dinosaur cake over it. Now let's take the mango buttercream out of the fridge. We'll need about 3 cups of buttercream thinned to a smooth consistency to frost the sides and background. For this portion, I added a little white gel color, then add about 3 teaspoons of warm milk to loosen the consistency. Now, we'll re-whip it until it becomes soft and fluffy again. To frost, I'm using an offset spatula. We're only frosting the sides and the background areas, not the dinosaur itself, just the spaces around it. I also use piping bags to have better control when applying the buttercream. The rest of the buttercream will be used for decorating, so keep that at a medium consistency. Now that the cake is frosted, we're ready to decorate. You can take a screenshot of my finished dinosaur cake to use as a reference while decorating. For the outlines and details, you can use either buttercream or royal icing, whichever you're more comfortable with. I'll be using royal icing for better control, especially for smaller details. I've included a link in the description box on how to make medium consistency royal icing. It should be right between outlining and flooding, not too thick, not too thin. If you're using buttercream, use a tip number 3 for outlining and filling in details like the spikes, teeth, and eyes. After piping, you can smooth it gently with a small spatula. For very small areas, a tapered spatula works best, or let the buttercream crust slightly for about 30 minutes, then lightly smooth it with your finger dipped in a little cornstarch. Personally, I prefer royal icing for details. It gives me more control, especially for fine lines. I've listed all the tools you'll need in the description box, whether you're using buttercream or royal icing. To cover the dinosaur, we'll use about 2 cups of green buttercream. I'm using 2 drops each of grass green and green, then whipping it until light and fluffy. Now we'll use the star fill-in technique with tip number 18. Hold the tip slightly above the surface, squeeze, stop, then pull away. Squeeze, stop, and pull away. If you pull away too early, the stars will look stretched and messy. We want clean, defined stars. Try to keep the stars close together so the design looks full and evenly covered. For thicker lines like the belly and tail, I'm using tip number 5. Start at one end, squeeze, and let the line gently fall into place for a clean finish. To create a lighter green for the belly and tail, I added a small drop of yellow to the remaining green buttercream. And now the dinosaur is fully decorated. It looks so fun, vibrant, and full of texture. The 3D effect really brings it to life, and those little details make it extra special. For the mango roses, you'll need about 2 mangoes. I've linked how to make gelatin glaze in the description box. It's very useful for cake decorating. If the glaze thickens, just microwave it in short 15-second intervals until it becomes liquid again. The gelatin glaze works as a glue and also gives the fruit a beautiful shine while helping it stay fresh longer. To be honest, decorating the dinosaur alone took me about 3 hours. So if you're planning to make this cake, I recommend spreading it over 2 days. On day 1, prepare the fillings and buttercream, bake the cake, and frost the base. Store it covered in a cake box and refrigerate. On day 2, you can focus on decorating the dinosaur and finishing the cake with mango roses and a blueberry border. Just take your time and be patient. You'll get there. It may take a little effort, but the final result is so worth it. And seeing it all come together is the best reward. And now, the cake is complete. This 3D dinosaur cake looks absolutely stunning. It's bright, fun, and full of tropical flavor, perfect for a special celebration. As you can see, even when I gently tap the mango roses and blueberries, they stay firmly in place. This technique helps keep everything secure, which is especially helpful when transporting the cake. Now, the cake is boxed up and ready to make my nephew very happy. I can't wait to see his reaction. It makes all the effort worth it.
I feel bad to cut this cake.
Why do you feel bad? Because it's so pretty.
I know.
It is so pretty. Cake, everybody.
We have mango cake.
I'm having dinosaur cake.
Blueberries. That is pretty.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more delicious recipes. And as always, keep tasting the world, one bite at a time. I'll see you next time.